What is one of your craziest stories that you just say to yourself, man, you cannot make this stuff up?
You know, this is, I don't know how crazy this is, but it's a combination of probably the dreaded fear that every agent has. You know, before you get your license, while you're getting your license, when you're thinking about real estate, and when you join real estate, everybody tells you, your broker tells you, your trainers tell you, your mentors tell you, don't get sued, you're gonna get sued, worry about getting sued. And we always worry about that because, you know, we're being held to a strong, high legal standard. Much like an attorney. Attorneys hate for us to compare ourselves to them, but the reality is our fiduciary duty is very similar. We have a legal obligation to our clients that is defined by the law and often upheld by the law. But when you're newbies, you're afraid, right? You don't really know. So I was literally 2 months, my second transaction, it was really my second and third transaction because they were running concurrent. Here I am selling the home of buyers, right? So they're gonna sell their home, then they become buyers to buy another home, right? So we go out, we find them a home, we have their home on the market, and the people who buy their home are in contract, and we negotiate a 2-week rent back so that when the sellers who are going to buy another home can buy a home, close on their home, rent back for a period of time while they move, close on the new home, and get everything all out and get this home ready for the buyers. Very common practice. Okay, so we negotiate that with a lease, and we negotiated with a deposit to be held in escrow. So the deposit was actually in escrow, right? And that deposit gets released back to the sellers once the buyers move in and the sellers have left the home. Thanks. So it's all, again, very, very up and up. Did everything we're supposed to do. The sellers asked me for a 2-week rent back. So they then go buy a new house. And it was a home built in 1964, so it wasn't a new house. It was a new house to them. We did home inspection, pest inspection, roof inspection, even a chimney inspection, foundation inspection, and came up with 28 items on that list that we then subsequently negotiated with the seller to have repaired and fixed, right? So we hire professionals to go out and do the work. I'm not a contractor, not a general contractor, I know very little about it. I certainly didn't know that in 1964, that the washer and dryer then had smaller drain hoses than they do today. I had no clue. I would not know that. I would not know that when you hook a washer up and the water goes to a drain spout, that in 1964, they were significantly smaller than they are today. Wasn't on the home inspection, wasn't anything. So they close, they buy their house, and the first problem is, once they get into contract to buy their new home, and we're getting close to close, they call me one day and they say, Don, we don't need the 2-week rent back, we're gonna go ahead and move out. Well, we already have an agreement for you to have a 2-week rent back. And I called, and sure enough, the buyers are like, well, no, we're not planning to move in until so-and-so, so they weren't willing to negotiate that out. Again, everybody agreed in writing up front. First problem, so the sellers, new buyers, are now upset. I didn't even know at the time that they were upset that they felt like I took their deposit and wouldn't. Their 2-week rent back money was also put in escrow and then paid to the buyers, right? So problem 1. Problem 2 is, doesn't happen for 3 months later. They buy a new washer and dryer. And the washer and dryer is installed in their 1964 home, and the installer from whatever company was providing it says, we can't install the washer because the hose drain mechanism is too big for your downspout. Flash forward $675 later, and a plumber who comes and fixes that, and then I get taken to small claims and sued. And I was sued for, according to them, taking their deposit, taking their rent and not giving them their 2 weeks rent, even though they had agreed and had paid the buyers of their property. And then they also sued me because I didn't know that if they bought a new washer, that would be a problem. Now that seems like a cut and dry. I was like, okay, this is crazy. There's no foundation here. I've got a lease agreement, I got written contracts, agreements that they did this, and certainly nothing other. And I lost that case. And how do you lose a case like that? And I tell people, I said, the sad thing about our industry, and in California first and foremost, anybody can sue anybody anytime they choose, And often it comes down to small claims, which is, if you ever watch Judge Judy or anybody else on TV, it's who tells the better story, or who is more sympathetic. And when I walked in with a suit and a tie as a successful realtor, I think that they just felt bad for them. And that just rubbed me wrong for a long time. Only time I've ever been sued, but it was an eye-opening experience to make sure that you always dot your I's, cross your T's, and never leave anything unturned, and always make sure that the clients are happy. So that's the craziest thing that I can say, and also the warning. Crazy stuff happens.
Thank you for watching Behind the Real Estate. If you have questions that you would like me to ask real estate agents in upcoming interviews, please leave in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you don't miss the latest interview. Thank you for watching.